If there are homes or communities that back up to real intense, thick wildland areas, forested areas, we have the opportunity to come in with a big gyro track mower or just a bush hog on steroids, I guess you could say in some ways, and literally cut away or remove that vegetation. This is just one example of a machine like we have that we actually use with the Florida Forest Service, and we do our own work. Well, just over a year ago, some grant monies came down for us to do more of this kind of work, not with our equipment, but with contracted equipment. So we put the bids out. Several people bid on the jobs that I had around several counties, and I had one right here in the heart of Chipley. And a company out of, I think the group was out of, I think they were from Jackson County maybe, or Calhoun County, TRB Enterprises won the bid. They were working in the woods over here on Todd Anderson's property, 50 acres right in the middle of Chipley. Brickyard, Falling Waters Road is a big old wildland area right there. There's a lot of houses that back up to that property. So that was one of the projects I found to kind of clean the line behind them houses around Todd or Mr. Anderson's property. Well, long story short, machine got hot, and the next thing you know, this happened. So this is not forestry equipment, it's the contracted folks that were in there doing the work, and that thing caught fire and it burned violently. And fortunately, because of where they were, out in the middle of that chunk of land there, to the rescue. Chief Floyd Aycock and his men came on site, and we got that thing sprayed out. But I tell you, I want you to see that area around the tractor there, if you will, is where they did their work, their mitigation work. So that shows you just how well that mowing of that debris away from the wildland area keeps from getting in the woods, right? I mean, that's pretty self-contained right there. Didn't get any brush. The guy was able to get it back in the opening. So again, another case where the Florida Forest Service, me in my position, has come in contact with Washington County firefighters and been very honored to do that. There's the chief there overseeing and even getting in on the action there, Chief Aycock. So we just appreciate that. This is just another picture here of has to be Chief Goffard there. I think Chief Aycock's there. Several other folks. Forehand, and you see Lynn Goffard, and then County Planner Mike Durrance. This was a Firewise meeting we had for basically train the trainer, you might say. This had some Washington County Sheriff's deputies there that we had back about a year or so ago that turned out real good. So again, I'm trying every day to do what I can to utilize Florida Forest Service resources in Washington County. So if any of you all at any time need any type of assistance, whether it be media, that is what I do. And that is what I love to do. I love working with Kathy and Cecilia. That's my passion, that's my heart. I'm a former media guy, so I enjoy it. A lot of people are afraid for some reason. These two are the sweetest ladies you ever will meet, as far as I'm concerned. But a lot of people are scared to go to the media. And I guess I can't understand why. But having been there and done that, I'm just really not. And I want to help you guys any way I can. I want to be the bridge, if you will, particularly when it's wildfire related in Florida Forest Service, with you and your issues with the community, and these fine ladies here too. Got about a 2-minute video I want to show you guys right here too. I don't know if any of you all saw The Passion of the Christ, and that may not be a good example to lead into what I'm about to show you here, but if you guys recall, that particular movie that came out about 8 years ago was a documentary movie, you might say, on how that our Savior, Jesus, was beaten and persecuted for basically nothing. He was, as we all know, he was sinless. Well, the point of even bringing that up is, if you saw that movie, it was well done, but it was pretty bad too, because it made you agonize. It was rough. Well, this next little shot I want to show you is kind of like that. It's not for you to stand up and cheer, but it's to almost show you a little bit of a war documentary, if you will, on how we do what we do.
Sunday, May 8th.
there, that was the Honey Prairie wildfire that actually was in part of Florida and a large portion of Georgia last year, and had a chance to go and be an information officer on that. And this is one of the wildland firefighters there, just like what Shay Shiver, Donnie Sellers, and Bruce Smith do every day for us right here. Just so happened this kid was big on carrying his video camera around, which probably wasn't, the safety officer wouldn't care too much for that. He's probably trying to drive his tractor and shoot like this. It wasn't a helmet cam, as you can see, so he's jostling around in his cab with his video camera, but he had about 30 minutes of raw, shaky, raggedy video that I was able to take and put a little music to and use the smoothest cuts, if you will, but just kind of give you an example of the way that we fight fire with the Florida Forest Service. Not a lot of water involved. If it's a big one like that, we often get helicopters, bring in the dip and drop some water on top, kind of cool things down, but for the most part, it's the bulldozers and the plows, putting the line around the fire, removing the fuel from where the fire's trying to burn to, so we can't continue on. That's our strategy. But again, the partnership that we have together. Guys, I promise y'all, I'm trying to wind it down a little bit, but I do have one quick presentation that I want to show, because this is one that if you all ever need me to come to your community or a neighborhood or a residential area in your community, I'd be honored to do that, because this program that I'm about to show you right here is a 5-minute version of what could be 30 or 45 or an hour long, but I promise y'all it won't be that. I'm going to blow right through it. It's called Ready, Set, Go. By another little show of hands, have any of you all ever seen or heard of the Ready, Set, Go program? Not many. I don't see any hands at all, and that's okay. That's good. This program right here is actually designed and established by the International Association of Fire Chiefs.